Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today may sound a little different because I forgot my microphones at home, but I committed to doing a video today. So hopefully I can maybe clean this up in post-production. But I have a great topic for today's video, so let's dive into it. Today I want to talk about 3 skills as a barber or hairstylist that you should master, and these have nothing to do with cutting hair. First topic I wanted to talk about was understanding shape and really just developing an eye for the silhouette of the hairstyle that you're creating. I think sometimes we get so focused into the detail of the haircut, which of course you don't want to just skip through the haircut. You definitely want to treat it with TLC, but I think sometimes we need to just step back from our canvas, from what we're creating, just to get an overall look of the silhouette that's being created, whether that's through scissor work or shaping with clipper work. And I think that's just a big thing that lacks in the industry as well. It's just the artistry of it. I fortunately, by nature, am an artist. Therefore, for me, seeing shapes and seeing silhouettes become very natural for me. That's definitely something that I feel like gives an upper hand, that if you are an artist, then you have an eye and you can see things come together and you can visualize the finished outcome before it's already done. I think it gives a really big upper hand, especially in any creative type of space. Now, no, everyone is not an artist by nature, but I think you can definitely train your eye. And again, that's as easy as stepping back, looking at the hair, looking at the haircut as it develops, looking at certain areas that you see start to shape and mold and things that could make sense in the haircut, which is not the most technical approach to hair. I definitely think having a good foundation of haircutting technique is great. Something I always like to say is I like to build a box to play in. So I do have some technical skill sets of cutting hair. I'm not the most technical by any means. And it's not really my style. It's even goes into talking on a fashion sense too. I like some things that are put together. I like some things that are a little bit more lived in and rugged. So I like having those elements within my haircuts as well. I like having things that are more structured, but I do like having some pieces that are maybe flowing in a different direction because it just fits the head or silhouette when it comes to the haircut and the face a lot better. So you don't have to be an artist at core, but it's definitely a great skill set to develop an eye to see the shapes really start to come together. And I think that really helps separate your technical barber or a barber who's just repeatedly doing the same type of haircuts, and can really bring some a breath of fresh air really to your clients, because then you're trying something new that suits that client and you're not just given the same cookie cutter haircut to each client or even to the same client time after time. And I think this will really increase your retention and really get clients talking about you. The next thing I want to touch on is how you speak to your clients. Confidence meets sympathy. So having confidence in your work, in your craft, in your experience, things that you know will work or will probably work or may not work. And then you have your client's expectation on the other hand. And sometimes those aren't going to align and those aren't going to mesh. But there's a difference between telling your client, no, it's not going to work, dude, sorry, and telling them what you are going to do. I think when it's that direct, that's where things can get a little messy. That's where I think you'll start losing retention, because no one really wants to be talked to that way, and you're not really coming to them with a solution or sympathizing to what they actually want for their hairstyle. So if a client for me wants, hey, I want this, nice flow look and they're showing me a picture or video of it, but their hair is really thick and bone straight. And for me, I have to then explain, like, cool, if we want this type of look, totally get it. It's a really cool look, but we're gonna need some length to grow in order to achieve that. Do you want to go on that journey? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I'm giving them options. I'm validating the hairstyle that they want to do and what they want to achieve, and I'm just bringing a little bit more human to it rather than no, it's not going to work, or worst of all, giving them a non-existent answer of, oh, I don't know, you know. So giving feedback, giving clarity, meeting with sympathy, being a professional, and really educating them on why, I think again is gonna go a long ways with the relationship that you and your clients will have. Last thing I wanted to touch on is product and service education. Again, you don't have to be an educator, but most of the time we're gonna know more about our craft, which we should, than the client that's sitting in our chair. So when it comes to products, you need to educate your client on what the product does, why you're using it on their hair, and more importantly, what I like to do even before that, when I'm in the service, and this goes with the service education, while I'm cutting my client's hair, I'll tell them what I'm gonna point cut or what I'm gonna texturize and why I wanna do that and what that's gonna do to the hair. Again, that's just showing clarity, and it's showing that you are the professional. And again, that's gonna make them keep coming back to you because you are educating them on something that they have no idea about. And once again, that most barbers or stylists aren't doing. I see a lot of the barber hairstylists will go through the consultation and they'll confirm everything, and then after that, it's kind of just left. They leave it on the table. They don't really circle back in the service and, hey, remember when I was telling you there was a part of your hair that was really dense and I'm going to texturize it? That's what I'm going to do right now, and I'm just going to take away some weight, and so you can then style your hair in that motion. And the client has that aha moment, and it's just so valuable. And once again, you don't have to be an educator, but we know more than 99% of our clients that are sitting in the chair, and we are the service professional, and we are educating them and giving them options, not too much, but giving them A or B options in product and throughout the haircut as far as hairstyles they can achieve, and recommending new hairstyles like I mentioned in the past. Once again, I think adding all of these things to the service is just going to go that much further in your career, and also the relationships that you're building, and then followed up with the personal brand that you are building for yourself. So I hope these tips helped. They're very practical things that you can implement. Go practice them in your next service, and I guarantee it will make a huge impact. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'll have my Instagram in the bio as well. That way you can go find some short form content on there as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.